Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for helping us share some important health and safety messages with the public. My name is Kim Hanton, and I am the Director of Health and Human Services for the City of Revere and part of our city's COVID-19 emergency response team. Thank you to our Mayor, Brian Arrigo, and Secretary Theoharides for joining us today as this beautiful weather and the unofficial start of summer kicks off in our community. We all know this year will be much different, and we are encouraging all to continue to follow public health advisory. The City of Revere and our emergency response team have been working for the past 10 weeks to slow the spread of the coronavirus in the City of Revere and support our residents, businesses, and vulnerable populations that have been most impacted by this virus. Our community has been hard hit by this virus. As of this afternoon, we have 1,529 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the City of Revere. 925 residents have recovered, and sadly, 67 of our residents have died, the majority over the age of 80. It's for this reason that we are taking every possible precaution as our city, collaboratively with the state, begins a slow and deliberate reopening process. With that, I'd like to introduce our mayor, Brian Arrigo, whose leadership has allowed our city to be at the forefront of every proactive measure to fight this virus and support the people of Revere. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you for your tremendous work on behalf of the residents of the city. And thank you, Secretary Theoharides, for joining us, and Major Gravini, and all of our local and state partners to help us join together and deliver a united message for the public this weekend. Our guidance for this weekend is crystal clear. You are safer at home. With a forecast for beautiful weather over the next week, and as summer unofficially begins, I think today is the unofficial beginning of it, we are concerned about overcrowding at Revere Beach. Governor Baker has set Monday as the official reopening of public beaches. However, working with our partners at the state level, parking along Revere Beach will remain closed. We will be working collaboratively to ensure that there is proper social distancing, that traffic is kept moving, and that there are no large gatherings on the beach. Revere Police have an increased presence on city streets to enforce parking restrictions. And we've been working very closely with our food establishments along the beach. We've been working closely with our food establishments along the beach to make sure that they remain curbside pickup only and that no long lines will be formed outside their establishments. Under normal circumstances, there is no better place in the entire world than America's first public beach to enjoy Memorial Day weekend. But unfortunately, these are unprecedented times, and nobody should be expecting to enjoy their weekend as they normally would. I'm pretty sure somebody did this on purpose to make sure that we're interrupted, but today we are reminding the public of the true meaning of Memorial Day. It's a time to honor those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Our way of life has been shaped and made possible by those that have served. And this year, Memorial Day will look different. I know with the state police here and the Revere police representative, they would say that, of course, the fire department would do that. But here in Revere, our Memorial Day services will take place virtually on Monday morning, And I do want to thank our Director of Veteran Services, Mark Silvestri, who's here with us today, for serving our veterans during this very difficult time, for supporting our efforts to make sure that we are observing the Memorial Day holiday in a safe way, and for arranging this visual representation of social distancing. Together, we can make sure that the sacrifices of our finest and the sacrifices of our bravest never go unappreciated, and that their memories are never forgotten. This year, we're asking everybody to please honor our veterans by staying home. And if you stay home and have a barbecue, please make sure that there are less than 10 people there. And if you have to leave home, please practice social distancing and please wear a mask. I'm now going to turn it over to Secretary Theoharides. We are grateful for her partnership in making sure that Revere Beach continues to be a safe destination for our residents and for our visitors. Secretary.
Good afternoon. Thank you to Mayor Arrigo and the City of Revere, and thank you to our local and state police for their partnership. Partnership with municipalities has been very important these last few months as we've grappled with the challenge of COVID-19. We look forward to continuing our work with local and legislative officials to keep our residents safe while supporting local economies throughout the reopening process. As we head into Memorial Day weekend, while at the beginning of a phased reopening of the Commonwealth, it is critical that we all do our part to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The Baker-Polito administration understands the importance of access to the outdoors, especially during the summer months. And as a mother of 3, I can attest to how important it is to be able to get our children outside. Fresh air and exercise are more important right now to mental and physical well-being than ever before. Many outdoor activities are also major economic drivers for communities throughout Massachusetts, including the beautiful beaches here on the North Shore. On Monday, Governor Baker's Reopening Advisory Board released their plan for Phase 1 of the Commonwealth's reopening. While we still have a ways to go, this plan is the first step back. The goal of the phase reopening, based on public health guidance, is to methodologically allow certain businesses, services, and activities to resume while protecting public health and limiting a resurgence of new COVID-19 cases. Working together through an outdoor recreation task force and discussions with stakeholders, we developed a reopening plan that aimed to allow as much access to the outdoors as possible, while guidance to ensure that this access would be done safely. Beach visitors should be aware that Phase 1 reopening at state beaches like Revere Beach will not begin until Monday, May 25th. That means that over the weekend, beaches will be open only to transitory activities like walking and jogging, as you see many people doing right now along the beach. Parking areas at state beaches will also remain closed over the weekend, and most restrooms will be closed, although there may be porta potties at some available locations. On Monday, May 25th, state beaches can open for both passive and active activities, including swimming and sunbathing, with protocols put in place to ensure safe distancing. The Department of Conservation and Recreation will also be reassessing parking closures at state beaches. Here in Revere, to reduce overcrowding, DCR has worked very closely with the city to continue to prohibit parking on the ocean side of Revere Beach Boulevard in the city. Barrels have been utilized to block these parking spaces, and this is important to really ensure that residents of Revere have safe access to the beach while keeping capacity down. As an annual reminder, dogs are not allowed on Revere Beach or other state beaches annually now through September 15th. Additionally, on Revere Beach, there are currently 13 confirmed cases of pairs of piping plovers with 7 nests and 24 eggs. The public will see fencing indicating these areas. We urge everyone to enjoy the outdoors, but to follow the guidelines released by the administration on Monday in order to protect the health and safety of all residents and keep our public resources available and open for enjoyment. Please practice social distancing at all times by remaining 6 feet away from others, avoiding groups, and adhering to all site-specific rules, regulations, and posted signage. To protect others, continue to wear a mask or a face covering when you can't properly social distance. Practice healthy personal hygiene, such as hand washing for at least 20 seconds, and please stay home if you're feeling sick. One of the things that's been very important and that we are encouraging all residents to do, if you show up at a park and the park is crowded, please consider leaving that area, coming back at a different time, or visiting a different park. Our state park system has over 450,000 acres of beach properties, including 77 inland and coastal beaches. And every region of the state has a hidden gem where you can go and explore with your family with a possibility of less crowding. Consider other opportunities to get outside, like riding a bike or taking a walk in your neighborhood. Socially distancing activities can include hiking, fishing, hunting, boating, and mountain biking. Botanical gardens, zoos, nature centers, outdoor wildlife reserves, and adventure parks are also able to open next week with strict social distancing guidelines in place. Following these safety guidelines will help keep yourself, your family, and others around you, like our veterans, safe. While we're cautiously optimistic as COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations in the Commonwealth are decreasing, we are still in this fight and we need everyone to do their part. Thank you so much for your patience and cooperation this weekend and as we work towards a new normal in the summer here in the Commonwealth. And thank you again to the City of Revere and the Mayor for the strong partnership. Thank you.
Jeez. Good afternoon. My name is Major Matthew Gravini. I'm the Troop Commander for Troop A. I just want to ensure the public that we are going to have increased staffing here at the beach over the weekend and through the summer to make sure that they can enjoy the beach. But to reiterate what the other speakers have said, we're hoping that people do stay home. If they do come to the beach, that they do maintain social distance. They keep to crowds of under 10 people, and they just consider the health of everyone in their actions. But we will certainly have enough staff here to ensure that everyone does have a safe and enjoyable time here at the beach. Thank you very much.
Question?
Any questions?
Questions?
As you look out at the beach today, what do you think? Do you think that people are doing what they should be doing?
Yeah, so I was just having this conversation with the secretary before. This day normally is absolutely packed, and usually it's a senior skip day, and you have any number of kids coming down the beach, and usually there's the police officers that are here would probably be doing some other work. So for all things considered, I think this is actually pretty tame compared to what we're used to on the first really beautiful day of the year. Yeah, so the state police folks may be able to talk a little bit more about that, but on our side, on the city side, we've made sure that we would rather remove any barriers that people have to getting masks, or give them information about the importance of wearing a mask. So we're going to continue to look at that, and if people continue to not adhere to the requirements of social distancing and to wearing masks, we'll have to take the appropriate action. But for up until now, we've been trying to focus on make sure we can provide those resources to our residents. I don't know, Major, if you want to say anything.
Sure. Just to echo the mayor's sentiment, while we are towing cars and issuing parking tickets, that's really, we're trying to avoid that if we can and gain voluntary compliance, as with wearing masks. It would obviously be a last resort to need to issue someone a money fine in consideration of everything that's going on and the obvious difficulties people are having at this time.
Can you explain where it's safe to park, what people should do if they have to drive?
Well, there is some public parking. Obviously, along the beach, it's all closed. Rather than taking a car down here, I would suggest, public transportation is probably a better idea. And again, just to reiterate, we would obviously rather that people do stay home and be safe in their homes in consideration of everyone. But with the understanding that people are going to come out, just use caution.
But what streets are open for parking? Where is the public parking?
Ocean Ave.
Is it okay?
Ocean Ave.
Okay, I wasn't sure on what the exact parameters were, but there is where you can't park in Ocean Ave or some of the other city streets that are adjacent to the beach.
And
Thank you, Matt.
in addition, the Wonderland parking garage is still open at the T. So that parking garage is open and available.
All set, ma'am?
Mayor, how do you feel about the numbers? Have you flattened the curve here in Revere? How do you characterize
So we're starting to see a decline in the daily cases. We're going to continue to be vigilant, but we have started to see our daily numbers have started to come down. That's encouraging news for sure.